As we say here in Harambe, get a glimpse of Africa, including some of the most amazing animals. So you can feel free to have cameras out and ready to try to take pictures. If you're going to do that, out to the left and in the bushes on the right, the orange-colored antelope or bongos, also known as the ghosts of the forest. They love to stay hidden away. You saw the small, dark, black animal running around out to the right. That's the yellow-backed tiger. When frightened, they raise up the yellow crest on top of their back, emit a high whistling warning call, go diving into the bushes. Their full name, diving buck. It's pretty appropriate. The tall, light tan antelope to the right are greater kudu, second tallest antelope in Africa. Boys stand almost 5 feet tall at the shoulder. Those girls are not too much shorter. And the dark brown animals out to the right are okapi, often mistaken for relatives of the zebra because the stripy legs they have. They're actually the only living relative of the giraffe. It's because of the shape of their heads. The boys even have ossicons, which are the false horns like all the giraffes have. All of the okapi have long, black, prehensile tongues, again, just like the giraffe. And across the water to the left, that is a black rhino. Unfortunately, they are also a really rare view. They have been hunted nearly to extinction. Fewer than 5,000 of those beautiful animals are left in the world. Our reserve has been trying to change that. We work with groups in Zimbabwe. They monitor the rhino, keeping an eye on things. They also provide veterinary treatment, even rehabilitation is needed. So hopefully, the black rhino will not remain such a rare view. I would like to get a few more views of larger animals, so I think it might be time for us to head out of all of this dense forest. We'll go head out to the Safi River. It's my favorite spot to go look for hippos. Typically, we get our first view of the river coming up on the right. Better hippo spotting up ahead to the left. So if you're on the left, please don't worry yet. Of course, better is a relative term when it comes to hippo spotting. They can stay completely under the water for about 8 minutes at a time before they need to come up for air. They typically don't climb out of the river until nighttime, when it's a little cooler to eat food. Each hippo eats between 80 and 90 pounds of grass a night. And it means they're usually considered to be nocturnal. Sure enough, there's a couple of them in the waters out to the left. One by the island. Hippos have been considered by many to be excellent swimmers. Kind of funny because they don't usually swim. They walk along the bottom of the riverbank. It's their natural buoyancy that gives them the appearance of swimming. Actually swimming around out to the left, up on top of the islands, these big gray-white birds, the pink-backed pelicans. They get the name because during mating season, their back turns a light pink color. They blush. I'm a little bit more worried about the next animal. We're about to drive over a really rickety bridge, and as we make our way across this bridge, if you look out to the left, those are Nile crocodiles. They can snap the bones of their prey with their powerful jaws that have a crushing force of over 2,000 pounds per square inch. They will even go after prey larger than themselves, like zebra and wildebeest. But by larger, I mean bigger or taller, not necessarily longer. From the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail, those crocodiles average about 16 feet long. So we are headed away from those rivers, out towards a completely different ecosystem with completely different animals. So we're going to head out to the savannah next. Speaking of different, we have a different kind of tree on the right, known as the baobab, also known as the upside-down tree, the Serengeti grassland. Already you're going to start seeing animals coming up towards the front left of the truck on the right-hand side of the road. These tiny antelope are probably my favorite animal on the reserve. These are full-grown springbok. This is as big as they get. They only stand 3 feet tall. They weigh no more than 100 pounds, but they'll jump 6 feet in the air repeatedly when frightened or excited. They literally spring from place to place. The gray animals out to the right, that's part of a group of wildebeest. And I say part of a group because they're one of the largest migrations in Africa. We're going to keep an eye out for more, and we're going to loop around to get back to all the other animals that are out in the distance on the right. But as we do that, on the left, we're at the edge of the reserve. The wild dogs, also known as the painted dogs because of the swirled colors. They usually hunt during the early mornings and late afternoons when the rising and setting sun makes them almost completely disappear. They typically spend the rest of their day relaxing because they're endurance runners. These dogs can reach speeds of 55 miles per hour, and they will hold those speeds until other animals drop from exhaustion. Hey friends, just make sure the little ones are sitting down for me, either on a lap or on a bench. I know this is really exciting, but we're on a moving vehicle that I might need to start or stop very suddenly as many of these animals are free roaming. Please stay seated. Thank you. Now out in the distance to the left, those are sable antelope. Those are all girls. The boys' horns get a little longer. The boys also darken as they age. The dominant male gets to be so dark brown he looks black in color. I know, it's the zebra, the giraffe coming up towards the front right corner of the truck. The zebra would have different types of stripes, but no two individuals are exactly the same. They are each unique in their patterns, kind of like how people have their own unique fingerprints. It's how you could learn to tell them all apart from one another if you get to know them really, really well. They learn to do that from birth. When a baby zebra is born, it imprints on its mom, meaning it can pick its own mother out of a group of hundreds of zebras just based off of her stripes. This is also bringing us into the middle of the group of giraffe, which is quite appropriately known as a tower. Tower of giraffe, and that's so appropriate because they start out pretty big. Baby giraffes stand 6 feet tall when they're born. Means they can look into the eyes of any full-grown adult human standing in the grasses next to them. To give you a little perspective, the armrests at the side of our truck are just over 6 feet. We're very high up in the air today. But based off the size, those two little giraffes to the right are probably somewhere between 6 months and a year old. They do get big quickly. They're considered to be adults once they reach about 3 years old. And adult giraffes, like the ones coming up on the left, they'll stand anywhere between 16 and 20 feet tall on average. It depends a little bit on the type of giraffe, but just like people, giraffes have height ranges. They don't all get to be 20 feet tall. The animals on the right with the massive horns, those are Ankole cattle. Those horns average 3 to 4 feet in length. They can reach up to 6 feet long. Really cool part. Not necessarily the size of the horn. I think it's the fact that they are not solid bone. The inside of their horns is honeycomb shaped. Allows blood to circulate through the horn. It gets up there, releases heat, keeps the animals cooler. It's more beautiful to use a giraffe in the area. The giraffe are going to spend most of their day shaving a lot of time left for anything else, like sleep. Giraffes don't sleep for long periods of time. They take really short naps throughout the day that all add up to about 20 minutes at a time. It's a defensive mechanism. It keeps them on the move. As we keep on the move, this is bringing us out towards Monkey Point. Coming up on the left, it gives its name to a group of mandrills that have taken up residence at the abandoned camp. Incredibly social amongst themselves. Very, very shy to outsiders like us. I would not blame you if instead of looking for monkeys hiding out to the left, there are a couple, you just want to look at the adult male elephant out to the right. He is much larger, much easier to see. Out to the left, the largest mandrill walking around is the dominant male. He's the reason that they're the largest of the monkey species, weighing about 100 pounds. Other boys would be about half the size. The girls, towards the front left of the truck, half the size of that, weigh about 35 pounds. And the baby on its mama's stomach is just kind of cute. Of course, the adult male elephant to the right is much, much larger. We know this is an adult male for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's massive. Secondly, I don't see any other elephants in the area. Adult male elephants like him are the only ones that wander off on their own like that. Females stay in herds with the young ones up to the age of about 15. Once they reach about 15 years old, that's when elephants are considered to be adults, giving them the second longest childhood on Earth. As the boys get older, they can start to wander further and further away from their family group until eventually they won't go back. Once they reach 15, any boys that are left in a family group are going to start to get pushed out of the family group to either go off on their own, like the one we saw, or they join a bachelor group. The boys really don't tend to stay together. They meet up, they break up, things like that. So if you want to help out elephants and other animals that live in the Congo, like the man animals that keep their habitat, just bringing us through a few of the local watering holes again. And in this area, there's usually a couple of different types of birds. I know most birds are not really exciting to look at. You can find ducks and little white ibis pretty much everywhere. But out to the left, that's a flamboyant. Group of flamingos. And if you look, there's a bunch of them nesting at the edge of the island. The piles of dirt. In the middle of the pile, there's an egg at the feet of the one flamingo. That's how they nest. They pile up dirt into a cone shape. They lay their egg into the top of the cone, and then they'll just take care of it until the little one hatches. Now the hatchling is going to be gray in color. They turn pink as they get older, mostly eating lots of tiny brine shrimp, high in something called beta-carotene. It's opaqueness that eventually turns them pink. And you'll notice there are a couple of flamingos on the island sitting down with those long, skinny, gray-black legs. Those ones are probably about a year old. It'll take another year before they get their full coloring, even though they reach their full growth after just a month or two. We are going to keep heading deeper into the savannah, see if we can find a few more animals to look at. There's an antelope in the distance. We'll loop around to